Hey guys, it's me, the Chipmunk. Well, first off, before I get to the other news that I want to talk about on this video, just a real quick update on what's happened with Spider-Man. For those of you who have been keeping up with some of the videos I made about Spider-Man, there seemed to be a chance that Spider-Man and Mary Jane might get back together in the comics, in a story called Renew Your Vows. Unfortunately, it became very clear some months ago that that would not be happening. This is a big letdown, and unfortunate because any of you who have seen my videos about Spider-Man and Mary Jane know that I love those characters. I love the stories, and while I'm not going to go into all the details again about everything and about Spider-Man's history with Mary Jane and their pregnancy that she had and all of that with little May, it's a loss. It turns out that Mary Jane will not be appearing anymore with Spider-Man in the comics. She will actually be appearing with Iron Man in his storylines after they wrap up this storyline they've got going on now with the Marvel Universe being destroyed in this secret war thing. So, bottom line, Mary Jane is going to apparently be in some sort of relationship with Iron Man and not with Peter Parker when everything gets back together, when the dust settles and the universe is restored in Marvel. So this is a letdown, and it's the final nail in the coffin. I haven't been reading Spider-Man comics for a long time. I did pick up the first issue of Renew Your Vows, but after I learned that Mary Jane would not be returning with Peter Parker as his wife when the Marvel Universe comes back, I realized I had no reason to keep reading those stories or any of the others that will come. So, I've made videos and things like this about Mary Jane and about Spider-Man, and I'm not going to make any more because that's it. It's over. It's been over for a long time. I just hate the fact that I allowed myself to get my hopes up when really there was no hope at all that they would ever get back together, but there was somewhere deep inside me that, of course, wanted to believe that this could happen, that Marvel would change their minds and they would let these two get back together, that we would see the pregnancy of Mary Jane again, maybe even. But that was just a dream. It won't happen. So, it's over for Spider-Man. It's over for me as a fan of Spider-Man. The way I try to reconcile this is that while, the continuity of the last 20 years or so has been erased, I'll always have those books. I have them here with me. I can always read them when I want to. I will always have those memories. And since, all of this comes from the imagination, Spider-Man and all of that, these superheroes, in my mind, the first issue of Renew Your Vows is like a nice ending to that 20 years of Spider-Man and Mary Jane being together. It's not perfect, but in my mind, that's a nice way to end his story. And so in my mind, Renew Your Vows issue 1 is where the story ends, on a happy note. So that's how I've come to terms with these past 20 years or so of Spider-Man and Mary Jane being together and now them not being together. And they're not going to be together ever again. It's a sad thing, it's unfortunate, but that's, you gotta move on. So, for me, I'm done with Spider-Man. I have been done with him for a long time, and it looks like we're never going to get Spider-Man and Mary Jane back together again. That is unfortunate. However, there is some good news from an unexpected corner, and ironically it has to do with a hero who is, or should I say heroine, that has spider powers. And this came completely unexpected for me, and I didn't say anything because I didn't know what to do about it. In the comics, they announced some time ago that the character called Spider-Woman, she has no relation to Spider-Man whatsoever. She just has some similar abilities as a spider superhero. I don't know much about her like I do Spider-Man, other than the fact that they are not related, and that the only thing they have in common is their name and somewhat similar powers. But it was announced that Spider-Woman will be pregnant when the series comes back in October. The new issue comes out sometime in October. And this is the photo right here. And so, just when I thought there's no reason for me to come back to Marvel and read anything that they've got, because they've got nothing that I want to read, nothing that I'm interested in, here is this. So, there is a dilemma for me in reading this issue that's going to come out in October of Spider-Woman and trying to keep up with this stuff. And let me remind you why. As with Spider-Man, what happened with Mary Jane's pregnancy was that Marvel did not want Spider-Man to have a child, and they didn't really want him to have a family, which they eventually got rid of. And as you know, for those of you who have kept up with my channel, they killed off Spider-Man's baby daughter. They forced Mary Jane to have a miscarriage by the Green Goblin, who orchestrated all that. You can go and look that video up here on the channel for all the details. But what I'm trying to say is this. I do not trust Marvel when it comes to family, pregnancy, children, relationships. I don't trust them. And so I'm very, very leery about getting into another comic that features something really good like Spider-Woman having a baby, but potentially Marvel would try to do something terrible with it. They'll try to lure us in thinking this is going to be something good and sweet, and then doing something horrible like having her go through a miscarriage or some horrible thing like that. It reminds me a lot of the time when I first picked up my first Spider-Man issue, in which Mary Jane announced that she was pregnant. And like I said in an earlier video I made some years ago, if I could go back in time, I would have never picked up that issue and started reading it, because it was the worst storyline I had ever read in my life. The way it ended with it started with so much hope for Peter Parker and Mary Jane and this child that they were going to have, and Marvel ended up destroying all of that. And so I have no faith that they won't do something different this time. They'll just they'll do exactly to this character what they did to Mary Jane. They'll make Spider-Woman have a miscarriage. They'll kill off the baby. It'll be something horrible, So, for the past few months, I thought I'm not going to even bother checking out this issue. But, since, obviously, it's over with Spider-Man and Mary Jane, and the baby is not coming back, the family is not coming back, I guess I will try and review Spider-Woman when it comes out in October, and follow this pregnancy storyline and see where it goes. But I gotta tell you guys, I'm really hesitant to do so, but I will, because potentially something good could come out of it. Since this is not Spider-Man but Spider-Woman, maybe they will not resort to the baby killing that they did back in the 90s, because Spider-Woman is not on the same level as Spider-Man in terms of popularity. But like I said, I don't trust Marvel's, and I really think I'm making a mistake in getting invested in another, character like this. But we'll just have to wait and see. And when that issue comes out, I will, of course, give a review on it here on my channel. So, I guess that's it for now. I want to thank you guys for watching, and again, like I said, I will have a review of that Spider-Woman pregnancy storyline when it comes out in October. Until then, this is the Chipmunk, and I will see you later. Bye, guys.